Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, you're going to be listening to a speech by Shahid Bolsen. I don't know how many of you know him. So in this speech, he speaks of how Americans have been given an illusion of democracy, while the elections have always, if not almost all the time, been rigged.
Right. So guys, we're just going to be looking at what he's saying because according to Bolsen, he says that Kamala Harris is going to win these elections and that is by design.
And that is by design unless Donald Trump outrigs the rigger.
Right. So anyway, guys, it's very interesting. Let's just watch this video and then we come back with our commentaries.
We're also going to be listening to Trump supporters who tell us how they are feeling and what they will do should Trump lose these elections. What is their future looking like in America?
Right. Let's watch and then we come back with our commentaries. Leave us a comment on what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing.
Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. I just came on. I don't know if someone already used, but I just want to know your thoughts on the US election. Who's less evil, the candidates, especially stopping the genocide aid.
Kamala Harris will win. There. Kamala Harris has been programmed to win. And as I've talked about it before, Trump, the only thing that Trump can do is to try to increase his popularity as much as possible to make him losing seem implausible. So that there would be, I think either way the results will be contested.
Sure.
And either way, accusations will come forward that the vote is rigged because the vote is rigged. You're not going to have a vote. You're not going to have an election in America from here on out where it's not rigged. That's not a thing that will happen. From here on out, your elections are rigged.
It's about which party outweighs one.
And you're not unique. This is what you've done everywhere, and this is what you do in your own country. This is what America has interfered in over 88 elections since 1945. And that's not including their own.
And we have about 5 minutes.
I mean, the naivete that is attached to American exceptionalism, you know, that you actually think that you are exempted from what you yourselves are doing everywhere, that your leaders, I'm not saying this to you, brother, who asked the question, but I'm just talking about the American people generally have the audacity to believe that their government interferes in elections all around the world, but not in their own election.
Yeah. So that means the genocide will keep going on no matter who wins the elections.
No, not necessarily. Well, I mean, the election doesn't have anything to do with it, unless Trump wins, unless Trump, you know, unless the faction of the OCGFC that Trump represents win out in their competition with the military-industrial complex OCGFC, with the neocons. If Trump does win, Trump is aligned with Saudi Arabia, which means that he's also going to be aligned with the Saudi peace plan, and with BRICS, and with what BRICS wants to see happen. And there might be normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel under a Trump administration, and that will include the establishment of a Palestinian state, and contracts for rebuilding and reconstruction in Gaza, and so on. The only competition that you have from this point on in American elections is who is going to outrig who.
Yeah.
It's a competition between of who can more effectively rig. That's all. That's really all it is at this point. And that's and that goes the same goes for any country with a so-called democratic election in which America feels they have a stake in the outcome, which is if it takes place on Earth.
How would you feel if Trump lost the state of Pennsylvania and that cost him the election?
I've already talked to my wife about it. We don't know what country we're moving to if he loses the election. I don't want to live here anymore.
Really? You'd move out of the United
I
States?
want to move out of the United States, whether it's Italy, Switzerland. I'm Italian American. I'm also, I have Irish in me. I don't think I want to stay here if he loses.
Really, you'd leave the
I
country?
would leave the country. I mean that. Let me ask you a question. Where else in the world could 20 million illegal immigrants enter a nation and be allowed to do it? Me, a law-abiding citizen, but I'm 63 years old. I couldn't go to any country in the whole world where they would allow me to go there. Me, John, myself, let alone 20 million people. How have we become this country?
But you want to leave the country and move someplace else and do the same thing?
What do you mean by do the same thing?
You said you want to leave the country if Trump becomes president. That's doing the same thing, searching for a better life. If Trump loses, you said you would leave the country and try and find a better life.
You know what I want to do? I want to have a little farm in like Tuscany, grow some veggies, take it easy, wake up.
But isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing? These people are coming here for a better life. You want to go someplace else for a better life because you don't want to live here if Trump's not president?
No, it's not the same thing.
It's not?
The past remarks that Trump has made about women, grab them by the pussy, you could do whatever you want. Like, do those bother you? Do those affect you at all?
I don't bother me.
Just want to check.
Donald Trump was accused of numerous counts of sexual assault. Does that change how you feel about him?
It does not.
No.
I think if we look at the women President Trump has been married to, they're pretty glamorous and pretty gorgeous women.
Mm-hmm.
So the E. Jean Carroll case, I'm thinking that's probably it did happen.
She wasn't hot enough to get raped?
I don't think she was a very attractive person, and I really don't believe the whole story.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about that video, right? So, the interesting thing that Bolsen says, whether or not Kamala is going to be the president, I guess we are going to have to wait for us to find out, right? All we can do is wish you guys the best of luck,
And also,
all the best.
Yeah, because by December 25th, everybody will be celebrating Christmas under a new president, right? And also, Shahid Bolsen said something that's very interesting. He said that America has often interfered with the politics and elections of other countries, especially countries that they have interest in. And he also said, he asked a question, right? If America has interfered with other people's elections, what makes you think that they won't interfere with this election?
Right.
Right? So he was also just saying, right, that it doesn't matter who you want to win this election right now. He says that Kamala Harris will win this election unless Donald Trump rigs the elections better than how
Kamala is going to
rig it. What do you guys think about that statement?
Right. I think we are going to just have to wait and see. But can you already predict a winner? I wonder if our majority of you can be able to see who's going to be, right?
Right. And also, people are predicting that with this election, a civil war might break out, or just a fracas of some sort, of which also sometimes I think, or I'd hope to say, it's my hope, I'd hope to say that sometimes people do learn from their mistakes. And like here in Kenya, the previous elections that we had, people were expecting Kenya to be a hot mess after the elections, like violence left, right, and center, and everything.
People chose not to participate.
Kenyans, the citizens of Kenya, the politicians were driving the citizens to that direction, but the citizens sat down and realized it was them against the political class. Like, with the normal wananchis, with the normal citizens, we didn't need to fight each other, because at the end of the day, we were all struggling. We were all fighting the same struggle, which is the economy and the corrupt political class.
Yeah, so deriving from that, I'd just like to advise you Americans, right? Whether Trump wins or loses, whether Kamala wins or loses, don't allow yourself to be the pawns for these big politicians or corporates or the powers that be,
Yeah, because bottom line, when there is distress in the country, things like violence and whatnot, there's always someone somewhere behind the line who is gaining from all the chaos.
Right, and you get to lose your loved ones for what, And here in Kenya, when we were conducting our elections, a lot of people, even international news, they were talking about
here before the elections, because they were all hoping to monetize from this, expecting for violence.
Right, but one campaign that Kenyans ran, the normal civilians, normal citizens, they were like running campaigns on social media talking about don't allow yourself to bleed in order for them to lead. That was the motto. So
for the common citizens.
Right.
We all decided to not bleed in order for our politicians to lead.
That is what they wanted,
That
right?
is what they wanted, of which even the politicians themselves, they were taken aback by Kenyans' reaction.
Yeah,
you know.
Kenyans just said to be unbothered. If you're going to lead, okay, until the finance bill came and they were
and
like...
then everything erupted.
The fact that we allowed you to lead, even if not all of us voted for you, does not mean that we will allow any kind of nonsense for you brought in our country, you know.
Yeah. And also Americans, I think that it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If both white and black people, Latinos and Asian people, everybody, if all of you decide to work together for the greater good of all
your
of
country,
you know, politicians
progress.
can't manipulate or puppet you guys around in order for you to cause any kind of harm to each other.
Right. The practicality of it, of course, it's not going to take effect immediately,
right,
but it's going to contribute into some sort of change, you know.
Right.
Don't allow yourselves to be used as pawns. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section.
Yeah, and also before we go, I know some of you guys in our audience, there are those who are pro-Trump supporters, and there are also those who are Kamala Harris supporters.
I've heard Americans say this saying that we are looking at choosing a lesser evil over
Yes,
evil one.
At the end of the day, there are only two options that you've been given, of which I do really understand. Yes, I do really understand the thought of you're choosing a lesser evil, and that's why most of you are encouraging each other to get out and vote. I really do understand that.
Yeah, and we also want to make it clear that our episodes are not
political.
No, they're not politically sponsored.
Because we've been accused of being paid. Oh man, we'd be rich. We'd be living in a glass house.
Yeah, but some people have accused us of accepting payments in order to smear Kamala's and others say we've accepted payment in order to smear Trump's image, you know. But we are just saying we are in between, right?
We are in between us.
Yeah, we are in between us on this one. Although
we're just waiting for the results to come out,
right, and for us to see the kind of leadership the new president
is gonna bring.
Exactly.
Right. So guys, we'll see you on our next episode, and please consider subscribing if you're new to our channel. Also leave us a comment on what you think about this episode and what you think after the election, what America will look like. So let's see you on our next episode.